Peace, everyone. Welcome to Winning Wednesdays for Wednesday, December 3rd. My name is Errol Simango, and I'm your host. Let's see here. Today, we are live on Yardstream, YouTube, and X. So we welcome everyone just now joining. Got a lot in my notes I want to share today. Several things I want to discuss today. Before we get into that, let me take a look at what's going on in the market. Mostly green today. I see the NASDAQ slightly down, but mostly green. Mostly green. S&P is up slightly. NASDAQ down slightly. Bitcoin at 92,300. Okay, mostly green in the market so far. We'll get to that. What else do I want to discuss today? I've got several articles from MarketWatch I want to share. One regarding OpenAI, one regarding Meta, one regarding Apple. We're going to get into that. Got a few updates in terms of scheduling I want to share. We'll get to that. I've got a couple YouTube shorts I want to share from a couple of them from CNBC YouTube. There's one article I want to actually look up right now. You might have heard of Vanguard allowing their clients to invest in Bitcoin ETFs. I want to look that up. What else do I want? I want to look up. Actually, let me do that right now. Let me pull up Gemini and do that right now. All right, let's see here. Let me share my screen here. New tab. I want to ask Gemini. Yeah, you guys might be aware that next week, let me enable Gemini here. When is the next FOMC meeting? I believe they start next Tuesday. Let's see. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Give me a sec here while I sort this out. Let me see here. Give me a sec. If I go current tab, share tab. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Okay. Let me see if I can share this. Give me a sec while I sort the settings out. All right, let me try that. Let's see here. All right, let me stop sharing that one. Let me just Google it. Let me just share the Google screen. Share screen, new tab. All right, let's see here. When is the next FOMC meeting? I believe they start Tuesday. Okay, so Tuesday, December 9th and 10th. This will be the final meeting of the year where the committee will likely announce its decision on interest rates on the second day. Okay, on what they actually do it Wednesday. They actually do it Wednesday, but their meeting starts on Tuesday. All right, so the Fed will meet starting next Tuesday. Policy statement expected on December 10th, so 1 week today. All right, so that was the first thing I wanted to mention, the FOMC meeting next week. All right, before I go any further, tech check. Are you guys able to hear me and see me? Hopefully you guys can hear me and see me. Okay, so like I said, we're live on 3 platforms today, so we welcome everyone. Peace to Andrea. From Detroit, Metro Detroit. Peace to her. Welcome, Andrea. All right, so several things I wanted to mention for anyone just now joining. Fed meeting next week, Tuesday. That's the first thing. I wanted to share. Okay, so let's see here. I wanted to share also, while I pull this up, I wanted to share this week's earnings. Let me see. I forgot to look up this myself, so this is news to me. Let's see here. Does anyone know what companies report earnings this week? What companies report earnings this week? Let's see if I can find the graphic right quick. All right, here's the week of December 1st. This week, the current week we're in. Let me share the right screen here. All right, here we go. Okay, so here we go. Here's this week's earnings. Let's see. Nothing major Monday. Yesterday, Scotiabank. Later today, Salesforce. Tomorrow, nothing major. TD Bank, maybe. CIBC. Victoria's Secret on Friday. So maybe probably the biggest name on that list is Salesforce later today. So that's a look at earnings this week. Salesforce probably the biggest one. All right, so that's earnings. Do you guys hold any shares of any of these companies? Marvel, Snowflake, Scotiabank. I do not hold any shares of any of these companies. Salesforce, C3 AI, RBC, Macy's, CIBC, Donaldson, HOV, Hovnanian. Okay. All right, so that's a look at this week's earnings. Okay, there we go. That's earnings. All right. That was one thing on my list I wanted to mention, earnings. The first article I want to actually look up. Let me look this article up with you live. Let me share my screen here. Let's go to Google and let's look up this article together. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. It's actually Vanguard. BTC ETF. I think there's some news regarding Vanguard yesterday. Yeah, right here. Let's see if we can find an article we can read together. Bloomberg. Let's see if Bloomberg will let us read. All right, here we go. Vanguard. Oh, let me see if I can minimize this. Can I minimize this? All right, let me try another article. Let's try this article from MarketWatch. All right, this is from yesterday afternoon. Vanguard finally dips a toe into crypto waters as Bitcoin rebounds above 91. Bitcoin prices jumped more than 7% Tuesday before paring gains. Let's see. Will this let me read? No, can't be doing all that reading. Let me just look up another one. All right, Yahoo Finance should allow us to read this article. I think it went into effect yesterday. Vanguard Group, this world's second largest asset manager, has decided to allow ETFs and mutual funds that primarily hold cryptocurrencies to be traded on its platform, reversing a long-standing position. Starting on Tuesday, Vanguard will allow ETFs and mutual funds that primarily hold select cryptos, including Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, and Solana, to be eligible for trading on its platform. It's a compromise that belies the firm's longstanding view that digital assets are too volatile and speculative for serious portfolios, and comes despite more than a $1 trillion drawdown in crypto market value since early October. Persistent demand and retail and institutional has spurred Vanguard's about face. Since their January 2024 debut, spot Bitcoin ETFs have amassed billions in assets. Even after outflows and a decline in Bitcoin's price, Vanguard's biggest rival, BlackRock, has about 70 billion in its IBT ETF alone. Okay, here's a lesson. Here's a lesson for us right here. Let me pause on this sentence right here. Has about 70 billion, down from roughly 1 billion just 2 months ago. Okay, so here's a lesson in this sentence. BlackRock and Vanguard are competitors. Okay, they're competitors, direct competitors. Vanguard's biggest rival, BlackRock. Okay, so here's the lesson in this sentence right here. If your competitor is doing something that's working and you're not currently doing that, consider doing that. Why? Because it's working. If you do not take action, maybe your competitor gains ground on you. Maybe your competitor overtakes you as industry leader. So if BlackRock allows their clients to invest in crypto through the ETF and Vanguard was not up until yesterday, that's more potential revenue for BlackRock. That's more potential reason you go with BlackRock over Vanguard. So there's a lesson there. If your competitor is doing something that's working that you're currently not doing, consider doing that. Okay, your competitor will probably copy you if you were doing something that's working and they weren't currently doing that. Okay, let's continue here. Vanguard Shift, which allows a late September report. Let me read. Vanguard Shift, which follows a late September report that the firm was weighing the move, opens access to 8 million self-directed brokerage customers to regulated crypto wrappers. Okay, so this opens up an additional revenue stream at the very least for Vanguard. Even with recent price corrections, crypto-linked ETFs remain one of the fastest growing segments in the history of the U.S. fund industry. Crypto bulls will see Vanguard's capitulation as psychological fuel. The latest sign that traditional finance can no longer resist the gravitational pull of digital assets. Okay, so check this right here. The change comes more than a year after Salim Ramji, a former BlackRock executive and longtime blockchain advocate, took over as Vanguard's CEO. So he was doing something with BlackRock. He became CEO of Vanguard. Now he's doing the same thing at a different company. The firm said it will support most crypto ETFs and mutual funds that meet regulatory standards, mirroring its treatment of non-core assets classes like gold. All right, so Vanguard, as of yesterday, now allows its customers to invest in crypto. Okay, so that was the first article I want to share. You guys might have heard about that yesterday. All right, so Vanguard is doing what their competitor is doing. Vanguard is doing what their competitor is doing. All right, let's see here. Okay, all right. All right, there's several articles from MarketWatch I was checking out. Several of them are very interesting. One of them was about OpenAI. Actually, before we get to that article, let me share this one. It kind of relates to what we just talked about. It relates to crypto. Let's see here. Yeah, here it goes. All right, this is an article from yesterday afternoon from MarketWatch. All right, for these big players, Bitcoin investing is all about power. Governments are increasingly using crypto to gain geopolitical clout and decouple from the US dollar. All right, let's check this article. Let's see what we got. Well, when El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as legal tender in 2021, it looked less like a financial experiment, more like a political statement. The tiny Central American nation wasn't just hedging against inflation or chasing tech headlines. It was signaling independence from its global financial system anchored by the USD. All right, read too much. All right, but this is an article you may be able to pull up on your own from MarketWatch. Okay, let me stop sharing that one. Let me see here. All right. Actually, let me go to Marketplace and see if I could MarketWatch. Let me share my screen here. Here's some live headlines from MarketWatch. Let me share this properly. All right, here's MarketWatch. Another financial resource I use. Some headlines here. Okay, in the upper left, you may be able to see all the indexes there. Oil, gold, the VIX, NASDAQ, S&P, and the Dow. Okay, all up today except, well, the VIX, if the market is up, the VIX will be down. All right, let's see what headlines they have here. MarketWatch Live, S&P and NASDAQ struggle to join rising Dow even as morning's tech slump eases. Dollar Tree beats sales expectations. Bitcoin jumps back above 93. Ethereum reclaimed 3,000. Delta Air will see a hit because of shutdowns, flight cancellations. Oh, this is an article I saw yesterday. We're going to talk about this one right here. As ChatGPT turns 3, Deutsche Bank offers these solutions to Altman's Code Red. I think I've got that article I want to share. Let's see what this one says. It'll let me read this. Okay, it won't let me read this. But I do have the backup on Yahoo Finance. Earlier this week, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman reportedly issued a Code Red warning to staff, predicting the vibes out there will be rough for a bit and identifying a trifecta of issues threatening the company's future, namely slowing subscriptions, intensifying competition, and surging investment costs. All right, so let's actually get into that article right now. Let's get into that article from Yahoo Finance. Let me share that one. Let me stop sharing that one. And let me share Yahoo Finance. Yeah, this one right here. Code Red, OpenAI. Let's see here. Okay. Let me scroll down here. Okay, OpenAI has issued an urgent memo to employees to accelerate improvements to ChatGPT as competition intensifies from rival AI developers Google and Anthropic. Altman told employees in an internal memo on Monday that he was declaring a code red to dedicate resources toward bettering GPT given the pressure from rivals. I mean, this just ties back to what we were talking about a minute ago. If your competitors see you doing something well, they're going to mimic. It's only a matter of time before they mimic what you're doing. That's working. The move will delay OpenAI's work of introducing other products such as AI agents, the outlet said. All right, let's see. Google introduced its latest AI model, Gemini 3. I was just using Gemini the last couple of days. In November, to widespread praise, the debut sent the stock soaring to a record high as Gemini 3 beat GPT on benchmark tests that score AI models' performance. Salesforce CEO was among the most prominent tech boosters to weigh in on the release, saying he was ditching GPT for Google's latest model. Altman congratulated Google publicly on social media, but the CEO privately told employees that Gemini 3 could create economic headwinds for OpenAI, as reported previously. Okay, Google's currently at about 320. Another of OpenAI's greatest rivals, Anthropic, released its own newest model, Claude Opus 4.5, on November 24. OpenAI has ambitious revenue goals with the GPT developer projecting revenue will soar from 13 billion to 200 billion. Wow, in 2030, keeping pressure on the company to maintain its lead in the chatbot space, which it first won after GPT's release 3 years ago. Okay, so let's see here. So if you're OpenAI, if you're Altman, what are you going to do? How do you pivot? Do you even do anything? Do you do anything differently? Do you continue as is? What do you do, if anything? Meanwhile, the leading AI developer has made aggressive spending promises in an effort to scale up AI infrastructure used to train and run models. OpenAI has committed $1.4 trillion to building out its data centers over the next 8 years, inking multi-billion-dollar deals with AI cloud providers CoreWeave, Oracle, as well as chip makers Broadcom, NVIDIA, and AMD. OpenAI's circle of deals with its own suppliers and customers have raised eyebrows on Wall Street and fueled concerns over an AI bubble. Okay, so that's Altman. Latest news with OpenAI and Sam Altman. Okay, so that was an interesting article I saw yesterday. I wanted to share that one. What do you guys think about OpenAI? What do you think about Altman issuing a code red to his staff? Let's see here. Altman needs to remain agile. Okay. Yep. All right. I saw a couple of YouTube shorts. Let me see if I can find them. I want to share those as well. Let's see. CNBC YouTube channel. Let's see what interesting shorts they have. I thought I saw one, or was it on the other channel I was checking? Yeah, it might have been on the other channel I was checking, Yahoo Finance's channel. It was a short regarding that Altman. Let's see if we have. Oh yeah, here's one that was interesting.
So I'm at Visa's Cyber Fusion Center. This is in Virginia, just outside DC. It operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to detect, protect, and monitor transactions all around the world. The network processes about 110,000 transactions a second, likely a multiple more on a day like here today, Cyber Monday. E-commerce shopping, of course, is likely to peak later in the day into the evening after work. That cadence has changed over the years. And on Black Friday, Visa says it blocked 200% more presumed fraud in the U.S. than it did on Black Friday last year. Now, 40% of Americans, or almost 74 million, are expected to shop today, according to the National Retail Federation, making it the second most popular day to shop behind Black Friday of this 5-day stretch, which is often referred to as Cyber Week, that goes from Thanksgiving until today. Now, despite discount events starting as early as October, Adobe still expects today will be the biggest online shopping day of the year, with $14.2 billion spent. That would be up more than 6% over last year's Cyber Monday. And despite worries about consumer confidence and financial strain and pressure on the consumer, the big unofficial start to the holiday does appear pretty strong. Most analyst channel checks agree and note that promotions are largely in line with last year, give or take, maybe plus or minus. Retail Federation.
I want to pause and discuss this screenshot right here. Hopefully you can see that. Potential shoppers: Thanksgiving Day, 38 million. Black Friday, 134 million. Saturday, 67 million. Sunday, 38 million. Cyber Monday, 74 million. So today's Wednesday. 2 days ago, Cyber Monday, 74 million people potentially shopped. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Can I make this bigger? Okay, that's as big as I can make it. That's as big as I can make it. Okay, 2 days ago, 74 million potential shoppers. 74 million potential shoppers. 3 days before that, 130 million potential shoppers. What's the population of the United States? Someone dropped the population of the United States in the chat. What is the population of the United States? Is it about 340 million? Is it about 340 million? What's the population of the United States? Drop it in the chat. I think it's about 340 million. Okay, what is 130 divided by 340? That's over, what is that, like 35%, something like that? So look, 35% of people are potentially shopping on Black Friday. 74 million of the 340 million will be or potentially shopped 2 days ago on Cyber Monday. Over the weekend, a combined over 100 million combined on Saturday and Sunday. So just imagine what kind of revenue these companies are making. Just imagine what kind of revenue Amazon's making, Walmart, Target, what other retailers? Just imagine the combined revenue of all those retailers. 300. Okay, so 348. Okay, so about 348 million people in the United States. So do the math. Just on Cyber Monday alone, what is 74 divided by 348? That's how many people potentially shopped on Monday. 74 divided by 348. About 20%, 21% of the population was potentially shopping Cyber Monday. Imagine what kind of revenue that is. Now, what you could do is take the average spend of each shopper and multiply that by 74 million. What each shopper potentially spends, add up that revenue on Cyber Monday, add up that revenue on Sunday, add up that revenue on Saturday, add up that revenue on Black Friday and Thanksgiving Day. And you're probably talking trillions. All right, so that was the first YouTube short I want to share. Cyber Monday, crazy shoppers, crazy revenue. All right, let me go back here. Cyber Monday, big business. No, Cyber Monday is mega business, not big business. Cyber Monday is a mega business. All right, there's a couple other ones I wanted to share. Let me see if I can find them. Yeah, here's a similar story.
From what we understand about Black Friday trends and what the expectations are, it's that retail firms do forecast today will be the biggest day for in-store traffic of the year. Maybe it's not as big as what it once was, but it still will be the biggest of 364 other days of the year. The National Retail Federation predicts 130.4 million Americans will shop in some form today, making it the biggest day of this critical 5-day stretch between Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday. Adobe predicts U.S. online sales will hit nearly $12 billion today. That would be up more than 8% from last year, the biggest growth rate of these 5 days. Salesforce says e-commerce sales on Black Friday actually surpassed Cyber Monday totals last year and will again this year. That number is sort of debated depending on how the data sets are pulled. Now, Deloitte and the National Retail Federation do forecast toys to be among the top 3 categories today. Jefferies says the average promotion for toys is around 32% this year. That's down from 38% last year, but thinks Hasbro is having a pretty strong showing for classic games like Connect 4, Sorry, Trouble, and Candyland. Nostalgia is kind of the name of the game across categories. Third-party logistics company ShipBob, it says toys and games were the top category on Thanksgiving Day. It was led by sales of Tonies, again, sort of a children's item, an audio box. And that is one of those ones that was highlighted as a hot item by retailers like Target and Walmart and Kohl's. And Planalytics' Evan Gold tells me that colder weather will be hot for winter apparel. He says that this drop in temperatures, particularly in the eastern half of the United States, should lead to a 5% increase in sales of boots, jackets, hats, and gloves this weekend, and then a 15% lift for early December. Look, I'm even a meteorologist on Black Friday. I mean, if it impacts retail, I'm going to tell you about it.
Okay, crazy revenue. Any way you slice it. Any day you divide it, any day you slice it, bottom line is crazy business. Big business. All right, let me go back. All right. Let's see here. Crazy business any way you slice it. Let me check Yahoo Finance's short page right quick. That's the wrong one. Yahoo YouTube. Let's see here. Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. I saw this article. I think I read an article yesterday regarding what they call the Trump account.
Susan and I are super excited to announce our $6.25 billion gift to 25 million American children. We believe the smartest investment that we can make is an investment in children. Our gift will cover most of the children that are 10 and under that are not part of the federal program, the 0 to 2-year-olds, and who also live in zip codes where the median income is $150,000 or less.
We believe that when children have a future that they can see is worth saving for, then that will help build hope and opportunity and prosperity for generations to come.
Trump accounts will be the first, I guess you could say, real trust funds for every American child. This will give millions of dollars, millions of children, middle-class families a stake in American prosperity, a benefit from the rising stock market, and a better shot at the American dream. It really gives them a shot at the American dream. An investment's going to be made. That investment's going to continue to grow, we hope, right? We hope they'll feel like Michael Dell someday.
Susan and I are...
Okay, Michael Dell. Michael Dell and his wife donating for Trump accounts. All right, so let's see here. Anything else interesting here? All right, here's the one I saw yesterday.
Tim Cook has been Apple's CEO for 14 years, but he won't hold on to that position forever. According to the Financial Times, Cook could step down as soon as early 2026. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, however, says he'll stay on for longer. But regardless, the company needs to have its succession planning in order. And according to Gurman, that means having Senior Vice President of Hardware Engineering, John Ternus, take on the role of CEO when Cook does eventually step down. Ternus has been with Apple since 2001, and he's overseen products including the iPhone, AirPods, and iPad. He's also helped shepherd Apple to using its own silicon, but he does have big shoes to fill. Tim Cook has seen revenue expansion to nearly $500 billion a year. Apple's market cap has also eclipsed the $4 trillion mark, but Cook has faced criticism. That includes Apple currently falling behind in AI and not having a next big product after the iPhone. Now, if Ternus does take on the role of CEO, it'll be up to him to fill those gaps.
All right, Tim Cook could be replaced maybe next year, or we'll see what happens exactly with Tim Cook and Apple. All right, there's a few YouTube shorts I wanted to share. I do have an article on Apple. Let me see if it'll let me read it, just a little bit of it. Let's see here. Okay, I'm reading this article. I'm looking at this article from Market Watch. Now, it says Apple is perceived to be behind the curve in AI. Now it's bringing in an outsider to shake things up. So they go on to mention a VP that used to work for Microsoft, it looks like. The company announced Monday afternoon that renowned AI researcher Amar Subramana has joined the company and will serve as VP of AI. So Apple's trying to catch up to Google and some of its other AI competitors, okay? All right, that was another article from Market Watch. Maybe you could have access. I don't have the full access to that article. All right, let me share my screen. I want to share a live look at the market according to FinViz. All right, let me see here. All right, here's a screenshot of the S&P. It is on one-day performance. So here's what the S&P is looking like today. Microsoft down almost 2%. Google up slightly, 1.3%. NVIDIA down a little bit. Let's see what else we have here. Tesla, almost 3%. Let's see, can I zoom this? Okay, let's just zoom that. All right, so that's the one-day performance, how things are looking like today. If we go to the Russell, Okay, there's a visual of the Russell today. NASDAQ. Okay, there's your big tech companies. Dow Jones 30, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, JP Morgan, Cisco, IBM, with Salesforce, Coca-Cola, PG is Procter & Gamble. Okay, McDonald's. All right, and then the S&P. Let's see if it'll allow me to show the 1 week. Here's the 1 week on the S&P. Okay, Apple's doing well. NVIDIA, Microsoft, Tesla doing well, 5% in the week. Walmart, 6.5%. Google down 1% this last week. Okay. So here's what the market is looking like according to finviz.com. Okay, finviz.com. All right, what do you guys think about that? How do you feel about that? All right, that's FinViz right there. FinViz, great visual from FinViz, heat map. All right, let's check. I want to check my notes, see what else we got here. Okay, scheduling. In terms of scheduling, today is Wednesday, November 3rd. This Sunday, I've got my monthly options meeting. So that the Sunday will be December 7th, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. I will have my monthly options meeting. On Monday, I will have a training live on YouTube at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll talk about executive skill sets. If anyone's interested in that training Monday night, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. That'll be Monday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about skills necessary to be a successful business executive. And then on Tuesday night, starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have week 1 of the B1 Options Masterclass. So that'll be on Tuesday night. Anyone interested in that, check out the link I just dropped in the chat. So Sunday, I've got my monthly options meeting, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we will have a free YouTube Live on the executive skill set. And then on Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we will have week 1 of the B1 Options Masterclass. Okay, so that's what I've got in terms of scheduling coming up in the next week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, okay? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. All right, so that's scheduling. All right, you can check out the links I just dropped in the chat there. All right, let's check some comments. Any comments or questions, drop them in the chat. I missed a whole bunch of comments and questions. Andrea says she prefers to measure number of consumers shopping year over year versus cost of spending as prices have skyrocketed. Okay. Prefer to measure number of consumers shopping year over year. Okay. Versus cost of spending. Okay. What else? Okay. So that's a couple of comments in the chat. All right. I want to share my screen and check some headlines on CNN Business. Let me share my screen and let's go to CNN Business. Okay, here's a live look at CNN Business headlines. Car prices won't stop rising. We just watched a YouTube short regarding Michael and Susan Dell donating $6 billion to fund Trump accounts. Let's see here. What else do we have? Economic warning sign. Holiday jobs are tougher to find. With Thanksgiving last week and the Christmas season coming up, you would think some of these companies would hire seasonally. Gas prices dropped below $3 a gallon for first time since May 2021. Oh, this is an interesting one. Trump says he's decided on his pick for the Fed chair. Here's who's who on the short list. Let's take a look at that one. President Trump said he has decided who will become the most powerful figure in the U.S. economy. The president on Sunday said he made up his mind and will be making an announcement. The looming nomination caps a months-long search process led by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who provided Trump a short list of 5 people. Few people wielded as much influence over the financial markets and the global economy as the head of the U.S. Central Bank. A few words from the Fed chair can move markets and shift billions of dollars. It's a role so consequential that Trump has even mused about taking it for himself. Trump has made no secret for his distaste for Powell, whose term ends in May. Trump at various points said he would fire Powell, force him to resign. I'm wondering if they have the names here. They're probably keeping the names private for the time being. Oh, here they are. Okay, so maybe one of these people. Who will be the next Fed Reserve chair? Trump is soon expected to announce his pick for Fed chair. Here's who's on the short list. Vice Chair, Supervision of the Federal Reserve, Board of Governors, Bowman. Director of National Economic Council, Hassett. Ryder, CIO, BlackRock. And then a couple other people. All right, so you can read about. Okay, so potential replacements for Powell. Okay, what else do we have here? Crypto remains on edge. That could be bad news for the stock market. This video says inflation is catfishing you about the economy. Let's see if we can pull that one up.
That was close.
Apologies for the ads. It's mute Santa Claus. Santa Claus, you get mute. Let's get to the business, Santa Claus. Wish I could skip this.
It's an Aldi thing.
Want to know a dirty secret about America's economy? Inflation can actually help make it look better than it actually is. And that was made super clear on Black Friday. Folks bought less this year because they are struggling with rising prices, but those rising prices actually made sales look stronger. Okay, let me explain. Let's say last year you bought these 10 presents, which cost you a total of $100. Now, this year, because of inflation, those same presents cost you $120. So you decide you can't afford all of that, and you're going to buy 9 people gifts this year, costing you $108. So your holiday spending rose 8%, even though you bought 10% fewer presents. Let's zoom out. And now you can start to see how inflation benefits the broader economy. Salesforce, Bank of America, and others that track holiday shopping show that people are pulling back on the number of items they buy, even as they're spending more to buy those gifts. And because consumer spending makes up 70% of America's economy, that increased spending fuels overall growth. So it might be a very Merry Christmas for America's economy, even if you're making some really hard choices this holiday season.
Okay, interesting video. So they're saying your dollar's not going as far as it did last year. You're spending more, but you're buying less. A very interesting video right there. All right, I want to check this one. Economic warning sign: holiday jobs are tougher to find. Let's see. Some workers may not be quite as helpful as holiday shopping season. Potentially worrying sign. Retailers typically load up on temp staff in the final months of the year to help contend with holiday rush. National Retail Federation forecasts a sharp drop in holiday help compared to last year. That may be surprising considering early holiday sales are booming. Black Friday sales rose more than 4% last year. Cyber Monday, okay. But a significant part of those sales increases are driven by higher prices, not shoppers buying more items. Okay, so that ties into that video we just watched. Consumer spending accounts for more than 2/3 of America's GDP. But consumer confidence is at a historic low and unemployment is starting to creep higher. Okay, so are you doing anything different this year? Are you doing anything different this year than years past? A scramble for work. The low level of hiring is causing those who are used to finding seasonal jobs to help with their household budgets to scramble to find available positions. Job search site Indeed.com said that searches on the site for seasonal jobs are up 50% since 2023. The number of searches for seasonal work is really skyrocketed the last 2 years. Okay, are you guys doing anything different this year versus last year? Are you doing anything different, or is it just business as usual? What are you guys doing different? Are you doing anything different? Santa's not coming to save. Santa's definitely not coming to save me. Santa don't like me. I don't like Santa Claus. Okay. One thing I'm going to talk about on Monday's training is accountability. Okay, accountability. If you're a real chief executive officer, if you're a real executive, you have to take full accountability. You have to take full responsibility of your outcomes yourself. If you're CEO of your business, if you're the owner of your business, nobody's coming to save you. Okay. If things go sideways, you can't blame sales. You can't blame finance and accounting. You can't blame operations. If you're a real CEO, that's your fault. If things went sideways, that's your fault. Yeah, Santa's definitely not coming to save me. If I can't meet payroll, Santa's not coming in to save me. If I can't pay my staff, Santa's not coming to save me. Everything is ultimately my responsibility. If I'm real CEO, if I'm a real executive, everything that goes bad is my fault. Everything that goes right is my fault. Okay. You have to take full accountability as an executive. Okay. You can't blame other people if things go sideways and then take credit when things go right. If you're a real chief executive, everything's on you. You're the ultimate bottom line. You're the ultimate bottom line if you are CEO. Nobody cares about your outcomes like you do. Okay, including Santa Claus. No disrespect to Santa Claus. No disrespect to Santa Claus. Santa Claus is simply not coming to save you. Same story for politicians. Same story for anyone else. Okay, no one's coming to save you. If you're a real chief executive, everything is up to you. Everything is up to you. All right. All right. That was CNN Business. Let me share my screen here. I've got Google up. I just searched stock market news on Google. All right, so here's some news from Google. Stocks close higher as Bitcoin. Okay, that was yesterday. Bounces back above 90. What's BTC currently at? BTC is currently almost 93. 92.9. Up about 2% today. All right, what else do we have here? Futures rise, 2 big winners as stocks near highs. Okay, Netflix is down today. Shares of streaming video giant Netflix fell 6% in the morning session after reports emerged as its potential acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery faced scrutiny from the U.S. officials, coupled with a significant stock sale by a company director. Netflix director Reed Hastings executed significant stock sale, liquidating. That's a whole lot of shares right there. That's a whole lot of shares. 377,570 shares for approximately $40 million. Okay, so a couple of reasons Netflix is down today. Okay, so that's what's going on with Netflix. What else? Walmart is about to enter an exclusive club. Okay, so Walmart is approaching a $1 trillion market cap, looks like. According to Barron's, Walmart is set to top $900 billion in market value today, making it the second retailer in the world of such large size. Walmart stock is trading at 114 midday. If it closes anywhere above 112, it will become a $900 billion company. It's an exclusive club of sorts. Only 11 other companies have crossed that threshold. Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Tesla, Berkshire, Alphabet, Meta, Broadcom. If Optimus keeps on, a $1 trillion milestone isn't far away. The stock would need to close above 125.42. Okay, so Walmart is on its way to becoming a $1 trillion company. Okay, so Walmart is approaching the 1 trillion market cap. All right, so that's a search on headlines. Let's see what's up with Gemini. Let's ask Gemini what events are affecting the financial markets today. Mixed jobs report from ADP showed surprise drop, 32,000. Okay, renewed AI concerns. AI-related stocks face pressure after a report that Microsoft, I saw this right before we went live. Microsoft is cutting some AI software sales quotas. Commodity price volatility. Bitcoin, crypto extended its recovery, trading above 92 after a recent period of volatility. Okay, and then it goes on to mention some companies at the bottom here. Fed rate cuts hopes following the weak ADP jobs report. Traders have increased their bets on a rate cut from the Federal Reserve, which has positively influenced bond yields. Okay, so that's according to Gemini, what's affecting the markets today. Okay, according to Gemini, that's what's affecting markets today. All right, let's see here. Let me check my notes here. Check my notes. Let's check some headlines from. Let me check some headlines from Forbes. Share my screen from Forbes. All right, let's see here. Uber launches robotaxi service in Dallas with Waymo rival. Okay, Uber is competing with Google in Dallas, Texas. Trump crypto partner ALT Alt 5 Sigma may have violated SEC rules. Google stock up 66%. Okay, Google on fire recently. All right, so here's some other headlines you guys can check out on your own from Forbes. Okay, one of the financial resources I use regularly. All right, that's Forbes. Let's check Yahoo Finance right quick. Okay, Santa rally. Bitcoin keeps rallying with Santa rally now in the cards. Microsoft slides as report says company lowers AI sales targets. Let's check out that one. Microsoft on Wednesday did not report from the information that multiple divisions at the company lowers its sales growth targets for certain AI products after several sales staff missed their goals. Let's see here. Following Microsoft's denial, its shares, which are down nearly 3% in early trading, the stock was last down 1.7%. Reuters could not independently verify. What is Microsoft? What price is Microsoft currently? Microsoft reported a record capital expenditure of nearly $35 billion for the first quarter. Microsoft has predicted it would remain short on AI capacity at least until the end of its fiscal year in June 26. The AI push also helped Microsoft become the second company to hit $4 trillion valuation this year after NVIDIA. Okay, Microsoft is currently 482.89, 482.89, down about 1.5% today to 482, 483 now. Okay, about 483. All right, that's Microsoft. Microsoft. All right, Microsoft 43. Yep, 43. Let's see what is Copilot. Today's stock market is being driven by weak U.S. jobs data, pressure on tech stocks, and anticipation of a Fed cut next week. S&P is modestly higher. Okay. I usually just check the AI, ask the AI what factors are impacting markets for a quick overview. All right. So today we discussed several things. We discussed a few. We checked out a few CNBC shorts. Talked about potential replacements for Tim Cook. We checked out FinViz's heat map. We talked about scheduling in terms of what I got coming up in the near future. We go live every Wednesday at noon Eastern. We discuss financial. We discuss events impacting financial markets. Those of you interested in options, check out my training week 1 starting next Tuesday. Until next week Tuesday, I will check you out again next week Tuesday at noon Eastern. Peace.